Devil May Cry, one of the most wacky, outlandish, over-the-top, and straight-up fun gaming series of all time. Capcom absolutely cooked with the rejected Resident Evil 4 prototype and created one of my favorite series ever made. Fast-paced action, Dante, fucking lady. The mix of comedy, insane violence, and an absolute banger soundtrack, and the fact that it's made by Capcom, who are literally a Japanese company, it was inevitable this series would be adapted into an anime. And it sure was. This is Devil May Cry the anime, released in 2007, and it was ass. I absolutely despise this show. The voice acting sucks, the art style generic and ugly, the characters boring, the soundtrack, it's kind of fire, I'm not gonna lie, this shit got some bangers on me in that opening, holy shit. This is not what Devil May Cry is to me and many other fans of the franchise. Unless you like the piece of shit that is Devil May Cry 2, then yeah, this shit is probably your favorite, you low-life scumbag. Years pass and we get a DMC reboot, which was, you know, I kind of like this game, it isn't that bad. We also get Devil May Cry 5, which is, in all honesty, the best and my favorite game in the series, but we never get another anime. That is until April of the year of our Lord Josh Allen 2025. All hail Josh Allen. On April 3rd, Devil May Cry on Netflix was released to the anime and cartoon watching masses. Trailers and teasers leading up to the release had the anime and video game communities in a frenzy, ready to see a true to form animated adaptation of one of the most beloved franchises in gaming history. The question is, did Devil May Cry on Netflix hit the jackpot? Well, almost. Most of us, if not all of us, should know the story to Devil May Cry in general at this point, but if you don't, let me break it down for you in the simplest way I can. Dante is a demon hunter. The world has demons in it. Dante is the son of Sparta, an insanely strong demon that decides to fight the good fight against demons. Dante's mother is human and gives him half of his father's amulet, which basically keeps the demon world and human world from merging and causing mass destruction. The other half goes to his brother Virgil. Dante's mother is dead. Virgil is also dead, maybe, who knows. And that's pretty much the entire main plot you need to know going into the games and this show. DMC Netflix, which is what I'll be calling it from now on, takes this basic plot summary and creates something completely new from it. This series does not, I repeat, does not take place in the canon of the games. It is its own separate thing, and thus it takes creative liberties in the way it decides to tell the general DMC story. Mild spoiler warnings for the rest of the series, by the way. The story for DMC Netflix is as follows. A mysterious villainous man known as the White Rabbit has appeared with a bunch of demons and is essentially waging war against humanity, particularly the American government, by bringing hordes of demons into the human world. How is he gonna do this? He needs the two halves of a demonic amulet and the Sword of Sparta, which, as stated earlier, act as a barrier to keep the demon world and human world separate. Now, who could possibly have a piece of the amulet? Introducing our boy Dante. Dante is this witty, fun, and badass young demon hunter just like he is in the games. He's also voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, which is the voice actor for Nero in the game, so already we have a great callback to the series, and honestly, it was a perfect casting choice, but more on that later. The government, specifically their demon-hunting military force Darkom, proceed to hunt down Dante to obtain his piece of the amulet and prevent the White Rabbit from getting his hands on it. Or paws? Or feet? Fuck it, I don't know anything about rabbits. The rest of the story is spoilers at this point. We get an all-out, balls-to-the-wall action fest between Dante, Darkom, and the White Rabbit for control over the amulet, the sword, and the world as we know it. Personally, I really enjoy the story being told here. I love its simplicity. It's not hard to follow, very akin to the Devil May Cry games themselves. There are a fair amount of twists and turns, and all the main characters get solid development. I really grew to like the iterations of Dante, of Lady, and any of the other characters introduced here. I find the writing and its pacing to be fun. Yeah, there is a shit ton of cursing, especially from Lady, but in all honesty, I found it funny and kinda charming. I'm also the biggest Lady simp in the world, so, you know, maybe I'm just biased, but her depiction here for me is one of my best girls of the year, so fuck you and your wrong opinion. Dante is absolutely fantastic in this series. The performance by Johnny Young Bosch was absolutely stellar. It really helps that he not only voiced in Devil May Cry before, but is a seasoned veteran in anime voice acting, having voiced Lelouch from Code Geass, and the drip god himself, Ichigo Kudasaki from Bleach. He was also the Black Power Ranger. Do you guys remember that shit in the movie where all the Power Rangers were being given like ninja animals and everybody's was like so fucking cool, and then Adam gets a fucking frog? He's like, ah, but I don't want to be a frog. And they have to like convince him that it's good. Ah, good times, good times. What were we talking about? Dante is witty, funny, charming, and just as much of a demon-killing badass as he always has been, and damn, he looks fucking cool in this show. This is the most accurate Dante we've ever gotten, and honestly, he was the character I was the most worried about coming into this show, so I am super relieved. The White Rabbit is a cool villain, and they definitely take the time to flesh him out and explain his motives and backstory. Also, his character design is just fucking sick, and whoever they got playing his voice actor, oh my god. Voice like butter. I almost choked on my own spit. Same with Lady, who is also very fleshed out here and gets a whole lot of screen time. Her visual design is great. I love that she's basically a demon-hating bitch, and honestly, just a bitch in general, and I do love tsunderes. I love her backstory. In fact, I feel like we get more backstory for Lady in this one show than we did in the entirety of DMC 3, 4, and 5. Was she even in DMC 4? Some fan I am. All this to say, I think the story of DMC Netflix is quite good. It isn't anything super deep or mind-blowing, but it's entertaining and well-paced enough to keep me engaged, where I ended up watching all 8 episodes in one sitting without really thinking about it. Visually, this show is pretty good to look at. It's not groundbreaking animation by any means, but not every show can be animated by Studio Wit or Ufotable. Its art style is definitely more akin to a Western animated show like Invincible or Castlevania or The Legend of Korra, but all of those shows still look very good and appeal to a more general audience. The action is very fast-paced and has great weight to it. It's flashy, it's over the top, and most importantly, it's cool. Devil May Cry as a game series prides itself on its extremely crazy and over-the-top combat, and this show definitely captures that essence. The color palette is bold and bright and really catches my eye. Again, it's not Demon Slayer, but it's still nice to look at, and that's all that matters. Overall, I'd say they nailed the visuals, and I have no issues with it. Well, the CG looks kind of wonky as all fuck, but listen, if the fucking Japanese can't figure out how to make CG look good, I don't expect anybody else to figure that out. The sound department, however, is by far my favorite aspect of DMC Netflix. The bass soundtrack is great, capturing all of the fun electronic and rock from the games. Devil May Cry has always sounded badass, and this OST hits the nail on the head. Remixes of some of the songs from the game like Devil Trigger and Bury the Light, anime original rock and EDM tracks that keep the pace moving. Fucking Limp Bizkit's Rolling is the intro. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Come on, rolling, rolling, rolling. I absolutely adore this soundtrack, and it works well both within the context of the game series and the show, and that's not an easy task to pull off, but damn it, they did it. With all that being said, however, I do have some gripes with the show. Yes, we get introduced to Lady, Dante, and a few other characters I won't mention due to huge spoiler reasons. Like, where's Trish? She was nowhere to be found in this shit. Like, is she gonna be in season 2? Like, where? She was like all over DMC 1, and I think she was in 4 or 5. And where's Trish? Look, I know that's just a really small nitpick, and I'm sure she's gonna make an appearance, but it's a nitpick nonetheless. My biggest gripe is the setting. This show takes place a majority in New York City. I don't remember Devil May Cry taking place in New York ever, but I could be wrong. I miss the weird gothic setting of DMC 1 and 3. I wish we could have had more battles in like cathedrals and castles and creepy places. If there's one thing the first anime did better than this one, it was the setting and horror-esque undertones. Again, these are small gripes, but these are the things that keep me from rating the show any higher than like an 8. Overall, still a good show, and I recommend it to anyone who likes anime or animated shows in general. It's a pretty damn good time. Now, before the comments get all wild and crazy over how this show is garbage and has nothing to do with the games and everything is cringe and the 2007 anime is better, I just want to point out, 1, the 2007 anime was indeed canon, yet no one talked about it all these years because it fucking sucked. 2, which is the most important thing I'm gonna say all video, adaptations do not need to be one-to-one or canon at all. Just because something isn't canon doesn't mean it's bad. Just because the characters aren't depicted the same as the source material doesn't mean it's bad. Look, the Neon Genesis Evangelion manga is technically not even canon, but it's still a good manga. Sonic X is not canon to the original Sonic games, which I love dearly, and I still think it's a fun cartoon. Invincible isn't completely accurate to its comics, and it's one of the most beloved animated shows out right now. The Resident Evil remakes are not the same as the originals, and they are still good. except for 3, that game kinda blows. DMC Netflix without the context of the games is still a fun, fast-paced, and well-animated show. The dialogue is funny, the characters are memorable, it's just a ton of fun, and I feel that a lot of people miss the point. This show is bringing DMC to a broader audience the same way like the Resident Evil movies did. And yes, while those movies were pretty shit, this show isn't. It looks good, it sounds good, it's a high quality show on the level of other shows I mentioned previously like Invincible. A lot of people aren't gonna like that it isn't in the game's canon, they aren't gonna like the changes to the story and characters, but look at Arcane. It too took some liberties in its storytelling compared to the fucking pages upon pages of League of Legends lore, but that didn't detract from the show being one of the best animated shows of all time. I feel that DMC Netflix is just like those shows, a show that got the green light from Capcom to be its own thing, inspired by one of the most iconic franchises in gaming. And that's so cool to me. Video games deserve to have more higher budget and higher quality adaptations to get more eyes on the product. Minecraft might not be a great movie, but I'm sure so many more people will play Minecraft because of the movie. I never in my life wanted to play League of Legends, but Arcane was so incredible that I picked up the game, and I hate it like everyone else who plays it, but now at least I play it. If Arcane can get me to play League, then I have no doubt that DMC Netflix will get more people to check out the games, and maybe even give Capcom more motivation to continue the game series, since it's been literal years since DMC 5 was released. The point I'm trying to make as I ramble on for what seems like forever is that these adaptations are good for the games you love and could help grow the market for more games and more high quality game adaptations, and that is simply beautiful to a lifelong game and anime nerd like myself. Let's try to hate things less, and maybe, just maybe, we can finally get a Zelda anime, because that's all I've ever wanted, Nintendo, please! As always, I'm your friendly neighborhood rom-com senpai, signing off, so be kind, take care, and go Bills. Actually, we could totally hate DMC 2, man. Fuck that game. That game fucking sucks. The 2007 anime sucks. It sucks balls. It's shit. It's ass. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.